There's one small but crucial detail about the opening of Reacher season 4 that completely changes how we see his character, and it might be the very thing that makes this mission the most dangerous one he has ever faced. This time, Reacher isn't just following his usual instincts, he's questioning them. According to Ritchson, the new season jumps ahead to Adapt Gone Tomorrow, which brings a much darker and more intense version of Reacher to the screen. Instead of the confident drifter who always seems one step ahead, we're getting a version of him that feels more paranoid, more isolated, and constantly on edge. The story opens inside a crowded New York City subway, where Reacher notices a passenger whose behavior doesn't quite add up. It's a subtle moment, but it immediately sets the tone for the entire season, because in a place like New York, acting on suspicion isn't simple, and every decision carries serious consequences. As the story unfolds, the setting itself becomes one of the biggest challenges Reacher has ever faced. Unlike the quiet towns he's used to, this urban environment is fast, complex, and filled with systems that are difficult to navigate. Law enforcement isn't just a local sheriff anymore. It's layers of authority, including city police and federal agencies, all of which make it harder for someone like Reacher to operate freely. This forces him into an uncomfortable position where he has to rely on someone new, Jacob Merrick, played by Christopher Rodriguez Marquette. But this partnership doesn't come with trust built in. Instead, there's tension, uncertainty, and the constant feeling that things could fall apart at any moment. At the same time, the reduced presence of Maria Sten means Reacher loses a key ally who once grounded him, leaving him without the support system he's relied on in the past. What begins as a simple observation on a subway quickly escalates into something far more dangerous. Reacher's suspicion leads him into a deep and complex conspiracy involving war veterans and global threats, turning what seemed like a small moment into a massive chain reaction. But the real shift this season is that the danger isn't just physical, it's political. The introduction of a new antagonist, Leela Hoth, played by Agnes O'Moore, adds a layer of manipulation and strategy that makes the conflict even more intense. She operates behind the scenes, pulling strings in powerful circles, which puts Reacher in a position where brute strength alone isn't enough to win. He has to think, adapt, and survive in ways we haven't seen before. At the same time, the production itself hints at a much more action-heavy season. Ritchson described the filming process as extremely demanding, with numerous fight sequences packed into a short time. While this raises the excitement level, it also introduces a new kind of vulnerability for Reacher. The more he fights, the more exhausted he becomes, and that exhaustion could lead to mistakes, something that rarely happened in earlier seasons. This shift makes the story feel less like a controlled investigation and more like a relentless survival challenge. In the end, Season 4 transforms the core idea of the show. This is no longer about Reacher walking into a town and fixing what's broken. Instead, it's about him being dropped into a city that doesn't trust him, surrounded by enemies he can't easily identify, and facing a conspiracy that keeps growing bigger at every turn. With no reliable backup and a system working against him, the biggest question isn't just how he will solve the case, it's whether he can make it out of it at all.